This is John Person, and I'd like to explain to you, a lot of folks have questions on how these signals help in making trade decisions. Well, first of all, let's look at what we have in front of us. We have the E-mini S&Ps, we have the Dow, we have the Russell. We also, as we expand this chart, you'll see we would have another chart to our far right, which would be the NASDAQ. But for the purposes of this presentation, I just wanted to describe to you how these signals work and how we use them in sync. And we have an exciting day today as we see the market in a sell mode. Now, below we have the same series of markets in sync with each other, the E-mini, the Dow, and of course the Russell right here. The difference is, up top we have 5-minute. As you can see over here, 5-minute is on top, and I'll just line everything up, make it look nice and pretty. And below, as we highlight, as you can see the bar highlighted here, we have 15-minute. Now, general rule of thumb is when the 15-minute is in a sell mode, as we see here. Now, let me take my crosshairs, because this is something that I think is really exciting as well, and will help to illustrate to you why I look at multiple markets and why I look at various time frames for a confluence, or at least I like to see a strong coincidental factor to corroborate the signals, such as if we have sell signals across a spectrum in 3 or 4 markets at the same time or within the same vicinity of the same time, it shows me that there's strong selling or buying pressure. And in this example, it shows that there's strong selling pressure. So look at where our crosshairs are. At the same time that the S&Ps generated a sell signal, we saw right here, we saw that the Dow had a sell signal. At the same time, we had a bar later, we saw that, or bar earlier, excuse me, we had a sell signal in the Russell. So we were in sync with sell signals. Now, when the 15 minutes in sell mode, we like to take 5-minute sell signals. And so while that sell signal is generated, we look for sell signals on the 5-minute candles, or the 5-minute time period. Now notice in the Dow here was one of my classic shooting star, and of course a low close doji trigger right here. It was confirmed 5 minutes later, which was in sync at the same time that the 15-minute was making its close. The 5-minute made its sell signal right at the same time. Now look across the spectrum. We have 15-minute sell signals going simultaneously on the E-mini S&P and the Dow. You see that here? There's the Dow, and here's the E-mini. On a 5-minute basis, we were in sync on the 5-minute on the Dow and the 5-minute on the Russell. So we see sell signals all at the same time, and that's one of the things that I think that traders really can appreciate or learn to benefit from. So this is why I look at 15-minute basis, and this is how I use the 15-minute to help me to time my entries using the 5-minute. When the 15, which is our dominant trend, is in sell mode, take 5-minute sell signals. Now, let's review that policy. When the 15 minutes in a sell signal, we want to do what? Take 5-minute sell signals. Well, let's go over here and let's examine this. The 15-minute is in a sell signal, both on S&Ps, the Dow, and the Russell. Notice our 5-minute over here. And let me widen this up for you so you can see this, because I think this is something that's really amazing. Notice that we started to get into a buy signal, and it just shows that there's buying pressure coming into the market. This green line shows us that that is our pivot support for the day. Notice that we also have a buy signal on the Dow, but one not generated on the 5-minute, as you see right here. Buy signal generated here, buy signal generated here, no buy signal generated here at all. But notice that the 15-minute across the board at the very bottom, there's no buy signal. So I would negate or eliminate that buy signal first off, because it's not confirmed by our dominant trend, which is our 15-minute. At the very best, here's how that would work for you. Getting into the market's one thing. It's getting out that everyone has a problem with, number one. Number two, people don't know where to take a profit. Now, 9 times out of 10, more importantly, probably 18 out of 20 business days or 22 business days, we see the market not just go to zero, meaning it's just one of these unbelievable crashes that we see the market go down forever off a sell signal. So we need to set some type of a risk parameter, number one, when we enter the trade. Then we need to manage the trade, and we need to set our goals or our sights for a profit opportunity. So here's how I like to look at these signals. If the market is generating a buy signal, that might be an idea that I could scale out of a position and maybe put a stop at break even. After all, if I've gotten short this market at 1458 and all of a sudden on the 5-minute basis and I have a doji, but notice that we don't have that high close doji here. Notice that we do get that buy signal right there at 1455.5. Let's get our drawing tool up here. From this point until our buy signal, which from 1458 we kind of right in here got that buy signal right there, next bar over, was still from approximately 1458.25 to 1455.5. Still a very nice trade. You got the bulk of the majority of that move. Now, if you want, as a swing trader or scale trader, more importantly, to manage the trade, here's what we can do. Take off a portion of the position, put a stop at break even at that level. You're out of harm's way. And then and you can do that until the 15-minute goes into buy mode. So you're comfortable in knowing that maybe one of these days the market's just going to go to zero and just keep continually crash, and you'll be on a very strong trending market condition. But notice in this example that all 3 days, or all 3 markets in this day, they're all in a sell mode, all in sync with each other. No buy signal has been generated. Therefore, the only thing that you really had an availability to do was potentially use this buy signal as a scale out feature, place a stop at break even. Very nice system, very clean, very objective. And you know, no one can ever fault you for taking a profit. You had a reason to take profits because, let me blow this up. Here's why you have a reason to take profits. Notice with my system, what we do is it filters out the potential high of the day, it filters out the potential low of the day, each and every day. So based on a weighted moving average, and I'll get rid of these charts here for you, there with these lines, let me explain what we have here that you're looking at as well. This is what the computer says is the predicted resistance. Here is our pivot point, here is our pivot point moving average, and here is the predicted support. So if you're taking a sell signal at 1458 and this market gets near a predicted support target at 1453, you have a 5-point move in the S&Ps, which is pretty much a nice profit for first thing in the morning. After all, the signal was generated at 9:15, and here we're trading right now at 10:45. You have an hour's and a half worth of work for $250 per contract. So you have an absolute idea of where to take a profit. You can at least say to yourself that, boy, maybe if this thing crashes, I can go from this level, cover a portion of my positions down here at this predicted support. I can also either A, choose to place a stop at break even, or you can choose, as my course describes, to place stops at least above a last conditional low or the high of the bar of the last conditional low, as described in both my DVD course, which was from the 3-day seminar, and also from the Trading Secrets in the Forex course. So the concept of the software is simply this. It's to help us identify sell signals and also keep us grounded and focused, and only take sell signals when in the 5-minute, when the 15-minute, the dominant trend gives us those triggers. Next, when you have a system or a methodology such as the signals that I've taught in my books and course, and let's look at this, which is even more powerful. Notice that we have here, as you can see, we have sell signals generated against pivot point and moving average pivot point. right in here, this was telling you that this market internals were weakening. Best off, it wasn't just that, but it was confirmed by 3 various markets: the Dow, the S&Ps, and again the Russell. So I think it's very important to identify where we are in relationship to the range. The market is, if it's truly bearish, remember, pivot point up to R1, and then our target low will be the S2. And in this case, the market every day has been kind of giving us a neat little predicted range. Now let's tighten this up, and you can see what I mean. Here's the day before. Now notice with the software, it automatically calibrates the pivots for the day. Here was the day before, where we see the market come up, generate a sell signal, taps the daily resistance. Now, granted, maybe you took this sell signal right here, and let's say that sell signal is at 1461.75, and for a brief moment you took some heat at 1464 3/4. But even if you had gotten stopped out or you went back in, the market gave you plenty of opportunities, still stayed in the sell mode, and gave you an objective to come down and take a profit at a predetermined pivot support. Not a lot of lines, just 2 lines day in, day out, to help keep you grounded and focused and keep you on the right path to trading successes.